You know, my perspective the great thing about being in an MFA program is I get this feedback all the time from these amazing writers and these amazing colleagues of mine. And then I use their feedback to figure out how to revise. And I think, you know, over time I'm getting better and better at actually seeing the problems in my own stories. But there's this ongoing debate always about the value of MFA programs and if they're worth it. As someone who has been a part of the Wyoming MFA program for like over a decade, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And someone who went to an MFA program themselves, like what you see the value is.
In the huge writing programs, some of the more famous, it must be really difficult for a student to get the kind of attention that a student who, you know, asks for it and wants it here can get. I think the smaller size of our program helps make that possible. I think if you go to a writing program that feels like it's big and feels sort of like a, you know, a writing student mill.
Yeah.
And I've known students who were my students as undergraduates who went to some of these programs and came out feeling as if it was not that productive of an experience. They spent 2 or 3 years in this place but didn't really come out more assured, more skilled than when they went in. And you can work with teachers in writing programs who actually do what some people criticize MFA programs for, which is, you know, say, write like this. This is how you're going to write your stories or your novel. You know, this is not the way to do it. This is the way to do it. But I think the better program looks at the person, the writer, and says, what are you trying to do?
Yeah.
You know, how are you trying to do it? How can you? And tries to figure out what you were trying to do and help the younger writer figure out how to get there and not get in the way, you know. And if you're not getting in the way, if you are facilitating and helping and adding, but not prescribing, then it's a good thing. And it's not going to really be any different from what's always happened, which is when people, you know, in the 20s were in Paris and Gertrude Stein was reading their work, you know, she was saying, you know, this is what's good and this is what's not, now go off and work. And my friends and I, that I stayed friends with from my MFA program, you know, and just sort of nurturing one another. And if there's inferior work coming out of the MFA world, you know, what people sometimes think of as an industry, you know, just popping out, you know, cookie cutter writers, and it's in a program that works differently from ours, I like to think anyway.
I think so. Yeah, I think the most important thing is that it allows you, more than anything, to build a community. Like a lot of us have been writing in isolation for so long, and now, you know, we have this community of people that we'll hopefully have for the rest of our lives.
Well, one thing we try to do is we look for writers when we're choosing who should come to this program and work. We look for people who already are writers, you know, who have a pretty good sense of who they are as a writer and have done a lot of work, so that you come in with momentum and you come in knowing what you want to do. And so then we can turn to you and say, I see what you're doing, you know, keep doing it, and we'll do whatever we can to help make it possible for you to do it as well as you can.
Well, thanks, Brad.
Thank you for coming here.
Yeah, of course.
And being in the program.
Of course.